Hello, good evening, Cherries fans, and welcome to the Playoff Push, a show which is going to get an expert insight on what it's like to be involved in the playoffs from a former Cherries player who has twice managed to avoid them with automatic promotion, but also someone who has experienced the heartbreak of losing in them too. But before I do that, I'm going to bring in Jeff Hayward, who's with me. Jeff, how are
you? Depressed, frustrated. Resigned. How about that?
But that's not to do with our guest, is it? That's to do with yesterday's football result, eh? It better be anyway.
And excited, obviously.
Yeah. And Neil, are you over yesterday's defeat?
I am, because I received an on-brand mug. So that made up for me.
Yeah, look at that. I feel a bit bad because our guest ain't got one as well. So maybe we need
to send him one, won't we?
Yeah, exactly. So who have we got in for today's show? Well, as it's Sunday, I think it's important to start the week right. So we're talking about the playoffs, and whilst we're all feeling deflated after yesterday, let's bring some positivity into proceedings, right? Last season in the Championship, after 36 games, Cardiff were in 11th place, 5 points behind 6th, and they ended up finishing the season in 5th. Swansea, at the same stage last year, they were sat in 9th, 4 points behind 6th, and they then finished 6th themselves. The season before that, Villa, they were 6 points behind the team in 6th, and they ended up getting promoted. So is it over for Bournemouth? Of course it's not. Of course it's not. But does today's guest think it's over? Well, we're going to find out, because we are welcoming a man who is no stranger to the show. He has appeared before, talking through his glorious spell at the heart of our greatest ever era. Since then, he's had a spell at Shrewsbury and is continuing to develop his love of food. Of course, we're used to his chops on the wing. Now we love his chops with a nice salsa verde and a raspberry jus. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the one and only Marc Pugh. Marc, how are you, sir? You all right?
I'm really good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Yeah, very good, very good. And really pleased you can be here to talk about the playoffs, because obviously as Bournemouth fans, we're all a bit concerned, but that's ultimately where we're looking to get to. I think automatic promotion looks to have gone for us. So we're going to try to draw on your experiences. But before we get onto that, can you just fill us in on what you've been up to since we last spoke? Because when we last spoke, you were at QPR. It was in that time where there was no football. And then football did restart. You played one match for them, which they won. And then you didn't play in the next 3, which they all lost. No idea if it's a coincidence. What's happened since we last spoke?
Crazy, actually. I signed for QPR, spent a season with them. 3/4 of a season. To be told I couldn't play another game due to the COVID restrictions and wages. And I won't go into too much detail on that. I lost out on a new contract by a minute, which was mental. I just needed to play one more game to get a new contract on the same deal I was on. But it was a difficult situation for the football club, and I spoke with a gaffer. He was open and honest with me, and we just went our separate ways because it weren't beneficial for the club. Really frustrating. Lost out on a year of football at Championship level, a year on a decent contract, and that's just life. You've just got to deal with the ups and the downs, and it's part of football. COVID's affected everyone, and it's the people that come out of it the best and with the right mindset that are going to come out the other end and be in a better place for it. So, I spent from pretty much March to September just keeping fit, trying to do everything I could to be in a good place if a club did want me. And I signed for Shrewsbury, spent 3 months there. Sam Ricketts signed me at the time, and I was playing really well, actually. I got five assists and a goal in, I think it was 9 games, so I was performing really well, felt good. And then a change of manager, that's football, unfortunately. Change of formation, and then didn't stay there too much longer, to be honest. But I'm at the moment, I'm loving the food, I'm loving inspiring people. to be the healthiest versions of themselves, and just trying to give an insight to what a healthy lifestyle looks like. And I've had a lot of positive feedback, which just lights me up, to be honest. I love it when someone comes to me and says, "Oh, it's improved my health. I feel more energetic," and I get a real buzz from it. Who knows what's going to happen with the football side of things? I'm open-minded about everything. I'm just I'm going to take a little bit of time till the summer now to try and see what happens. I've had a few offers, currently, but it's a lot of travelling. And with the COVID situation, and usually my family would be able to come up and spend time with me. They won't be able to do that, so I'll be spending long periods away from home. So I'm just gonna, at the moment, sit back, reflect. I've just finished a new diet and nutrition diploma, and I am working on a book proposal as we speak. So I'd love an editor to take to it in the future, but yeah, fingers crossed.
When you were at Shrewsbury, obviously Charlie Daniels was with you. Did you have the same? Did you strike up the same sort of like triangles and double act that you did at Bournemouth? Was it natural?
You know what? We played a formation where Charlie was a wing back, and I was sort of a winger. That it was effectively free strikers, so I was playing on the inside. So we didn't strike up the same combination as we did at Bournemouth, because I weren't on the left wing, but there was games where I drifted out there, and yeah, you could see we had a really good relationship, and we didn't play a lot of football together, to be honest, because of the change of manager and one reason or another. But yeah, I mean, Charlie's he never changes. He's solid defensively, great going forward, great engine on him, and we work really well together. It's just a shame it got cut a little bit short, and strange situation at the moment. But love playing with Charlie, a top lad, and we lived together up there. So he got a few good meals. He was buzzing. So yeah, we spent a lot of time together on and off the field, and he's a great guy.
Yeah, Jeff.
So, Bournemouth this season, obviously pushing for the playoffs. And while most fans are feeling that, I don't know, it's likely, possibly even a bit less likely after yesterday, but we'll see. You were part of a squad that did get to the playoffs. What do you remember about that double header? Because it's 10 years ago now against Huddersfield.
Yeah, I remember sitting on the bench.
Bench both games, weren't you? But you came off the bench both games. Was it Donald? Oh, God, what's his name?
McDermott.
Yeah, McDermott, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know what? It was. I had a really good season that year, and we were coming towards back end, and I won't go into too much detail, but I was off a contract, and Bradders was in charge at the time, and it didn't materialise, and then I got told I was on the bench, and you've just got to get your head around it as a player. Like I said, a lot of ups and downs. You've just got to stay humble, keep working hard, and but yeah, it's really frustrating. Went to penalties. We couldn't hit a barn door, to be honest. I think we missed, was it 3 out of our 4 penalties or something? Yeah. I was due to step up for the 5th. I was buzzing for it, and we were nowhere near. So memories. I came on in extra time, set up Ingsy for his header.
Left-footed cross, as I recall.
Yeah, left-footed cross. Great header, actually, to be fair. Went 3-2 up. And then I think there must have been, 7-8 minutes left, and they equalised, kick in the teeth. And when it goes to penalties, it's a lottery. Anything can happen. So on the day, I felt like we deserved to win, but wasn't to be.
I was going to ask about the penalties because, I think Liam Feeney took one that I remember he missed, and then Anton Robinson crushed it off the bar. I remember that. And Huddersfield, I think they actually scored all of those. And I was going to ask who was going to take our 5th penalty. Would you have done what you did against Plymouth Argyle in the league and Penenki'd it? Or would you have actually taken it seriously?
A little bit. Oh, I tell you what, I couldn't have done that in a playoff game just because your teammates, your management, your fans, they look at you, and if you miss, you look like a right clown. So, and it looks like you're taking a mickey. So, no, I'd have just reverse whip top corner.
Well, the reason I asked that is didn't Jan Kermit do that for Leicester? He tried something, and that was in an important match. Was that a playoff match?
Final. Yeah.
That was at Wembley. and it became a song, didn't it? I think it's a song on YouTube that's got about 2 million hits or more. So he talked about it when he was on the show, didn't he?
Yeah.
But no, you must regret it. I mean, Mark, you couldn't in a playoff final, could you?
No, I mean, Jan's as cool as a cucumber, and you back him to score a penalty. He was really good at penalties, actually. But yeah, to think, I mean, you look at people like Pirlo and Zidane, when Zidane hit the bar and it just crossed the line, your heart must sink. But no, yeah, I've got my little cupcake mug. I wouldn't mind the cherries on that. But no, yeah, it's. I did it against Plymouth, and doing it in a League One game is completely different to doing it in a cup final. That's for sure. Although they all have the same impact on the team. You want to win every game, but yeah, it's never say never. But yeah, won't fancy it.
And so this season, Mark, we all thought we were good enough to finish top two. The quality is certainly there in the squad. And you can see it at times, though it was on the show again yesterday. But I don't know what it is. It's a mentality, it's an intensity, it's a winning kind of attitude that the players just don't seem to be able to deliver it for 90 minutes. You weren't relegated with Bournemouth, but you took a step down with a loan move and also that permanent move to QPR. Do you think that for some players there can be a sort of mentality of feeling like you don't have to work as hard in the second tier, or because of your previous experiences?
That's a given. You've got to work hard for everything you want in life. I mean, hard work beats talent. When talent doesn't work hard, I swear by that. It's one of my big quotes that I look at daily. I'm big on affirmations and, speaking out loud to myself. And that's what you've got to do. I mean, whether you're playing at the Championship, League One, Premier League, it doesn't matter. You're up against a human, an individual who wants success, and you've got to work harder than them. I mean, I spent just about a month, 6 weeks training with Bournemouth, as you probably well know. Just before the season got going, I spent a bit of time. I think they'd played about 4 or 5 games, and I was still training with them. They were absolutely flying. Confidence levels was high. Training intensity was absolutely brilliant. I really enjoyed it, actually, and the lads were hungry for success. And I don't know what's changed since obviously I've been away from it, but when I was there, everyone was pulling in the same direction, and just on the same page. But yes, it's just hard work's a given. You've got to work hard. You've got to work hard for your team. I know the fans aren't there at the minute, but you've got to think about them as well. They pay good money to, whether it be watching on social media, whether it be at the game. So you just, me as an individual, as an athlete, I want to put smiles on fans' faces, because, to be honest, it ruins the weekend because of that involved in the football club. You just want to give them a good weekend, and you want to do everything you can. And like I say, I can't really comment. I haven't seen many games this season. Bournemouth's the first result I look at every week, but it's crazy without the fans. The emotion of the game is just completely different.
Do you think, I was thinking that side that you were part of that went up didn't have any superstars? I think only Kenwyne Jones, who came late, was anything close to being a household name. But what you all had was a huge desire to work hard 46 games in a season. Do you think maybe sides that come down from the Premier League that have got players that can get moves easily elsewhere with agents, etc., that don't necessarily have the hunger to do it over 46 games in a Championship season?
I mean, it'd drive me mad if I was in the changing room and I was seeing that, because I think that was a big difference. I mean, we had a lot of characters. If someone stepped out of line or got above the station, then we'd tell them, we'd be honest, we'd be open. And yeah, whether you step out of the Premier League or not, you've seen that many players who haven't made it with a Premier League club, and then they've just shot down the leagues, and where are they now? I mean, what's the point in stopping working hard, stopping progressing as an individual, as a player? Whether you come down to the Championship or not, you should work hard to get back up there. I mean, I always wanted to play in the Premier League as a boy. I was a million miles away from, that when I got released from Shrewsbury Town at 22, 23. But but I still had that desire and hunger to play there. And when I got in the Premier League with Bournemouth, it's all right getting there. You've got to stay there. And I'm just, I feel fortunate and blessed that I got to spend 4 seasons in the Premier League with Bournemouth. Like I say, at the time, it was so tough leaving Bournemouth, but I needed to play football. And in that final season, when I did leave, I hardly kicked a ball. I wasn't even on the bench. And you want to feel a part of a team going forward. And yeah, I mean, like I said, you've got to give everything for the cause. You've got to give everything. That's what we did. We had 11 winners on the pitch, and we had the bench who was willing us on every week. And I think that is the most important thing, whether you're playing, whether you're on the bench. I think you've got to, knit together as a team and just, want to go in that same direction.
I think that's what we seem to be missing as a team at the moment, that team spirit. And also, there seems to be a complacency as well. And in the 36 games that we've witnessed so far, the players look as though they've been coasting. It's felt like a training game at times. And I think, obviously, having no fans in the stadium to react either positively or negatively to what you're doing, it obviously almost negates all sort of emotion. And sometimes when we've scored, it doesn't look as though the players are even enjoying it. Do you think the playoffs, the competition of the playoffs, if we manage to get there, will perhaps provide the players with that little bit of pressure that we've almost lacked so far? Because it's 3 games, it's a one-off tournament, like you say. It is a lottery, and anything can happen.
Yeah, you want that ammunition. You need to get that fire in your belly, and the playoffs are unbelievable. It'd be great to go up in the top 2, but going up through the playoffs, I can imagine it being absolutely amazing. I've never gone up through the playoffs, but me personally as a player, I thrive off pressure. I love playing under pressure, and every touch, every tackle, every cross, every shot. When there's fans there, you're under pressure to perform and do what you're good at. So hopefully that the playoffs, if they can make the playoffs, will give them the ammunition to sort of kick on. And being in the Premier League, best league in the world, that's where they want to be. And I've got my fingers crossed every week that they're winning the games. I mean, it's been a big part of my life, Bournemouth, and that'll never change. And it hurts me to see them lose to this day, even though I'm not playing, because I've got a lot of close friends still playing for the club, and I want it for them as well.
So we're likely to finish 6th, I'd say. If we do, we'll probably edge into that sort of last place in the playoffs, which is where the team finished in that game against Huddersfield. We were 6th, weren't we? And they were 3rd. Do you think it helps playing that first game at home, or is it a real disadvantage to do that? What do you reckon?
I think you've got to be mentally bulletproof whether you're playing home or away. It's amazing the amount of results you see. It's much more difficult playing away from home, but it shouldn't be the case because it's a football pitch. Different set of fans, but yeah, I think it's a mentality thing. I think if you go into every game and approach it in the right way, then you're going to come out on top of the opposition. I mean, we proved in the Championship season when we got promoted, we're going away to Fulham and battering them 5-1. But yeah, I think with no fans being in the stadiums, then it shouldn't play too much of a part, whether you're home or away. So I'd personally prefer to play away first game, and then in the second fixture you can just crack on. And because it's strange, you change your style of approach when you're playing away from home. You sort of are a little bit more negative and defensively, especially if you're coming up against the Man Cities, the Liverpools of the world. You need to be, cautious, but you don't want to be too cautious because at the end of the day, if you're defending for 90 minutes, then you'll get picked off. So, but yeah, it's an interesting question actually. Me personally, as an individual, I just approach every game in the same way and want to give me all for the club.
Do you think, like Sam was talking earlier about, there's been quite a few teams that there's always someone that makes a late charge and gets into the playoffs? Do you think that's because when you're in the playoffs, you can't afford to lose, but when you're outside coming up, you know that you have to win every game? So if you were a manager, would you change the tactics for us now? Would you think, we'll go all out attack. We got to win now because we're too many points behind.
Yeah, I think it's strange. I think the shackles come off a little bit if you sort of feel like you're not going to get in the playoffs, so you're quite, not as much pressure on it, that kind of thing. Because, like you say, Aston Villa came from nowhere to get promotion, and the likes of Cardiff and got in the playoffs. So yeah, it's I don't think you should change your philosophy. When Eddie Howe was in charge, stuck to the same philosophy: win, lose, or draw. Wanted to play good football, pass out from the back, play attacking, free-flowing football. We'd work constantly on overlaps, underlaps as your fullbacks, and your wide play. It played a massive part in our success. And we had people that could score goals and put the bodies on the line to defend the box. So I think it's just important. Every game you go into, you're ruthless in both boxes. You should want to defend the goal with your life, and you should want to score a goal every time you get in the box. So, it's. I think it's going to be really difficult now. You need especially Bournemouth. They need to get a good run of results together. I mean, you look at the games coming up. You've got Swansea, you've got Norwich. They're must-win games to try and close that gap. And they've got the quarterfinals to look forward to as well. Yeah. That could be a good confidence boost. I think a real good push is needed now because there's a lot of mid-table teams that if they don't start winning, that gap's going to come bigger because Barnsley are playing well at the moment.
When you mentioned the 2010-2011 campaign where we finished sixth, I mean, Jeff said obviously as a result of finishing sixth, we play the match at home, but we were playing Huddersfield, a team that were 5 points off Southampton in second place, who got promoted automatically. We were 21 points off Southampton in sixth. Do you think finishing sixth, there's almost less pressure than there would be for just missing out on the automatics, like in that case with Huddersfield?
I think you're absolutely gutted if you just miss out in third place. I think it's really difficult because you're so close and then you've got another 2-3 weeks of the season to play, and it can be mentally draining. That's where you've got to come out and just be tough. But yeah, I think if you approach it in the right way, and like back then Huddersfield, they were a good team, but we battered them at home. We were by far the better team and should have scored more goals on the day. And then we went away and they scraped a 3-3 draw and beat us on penalties. But that's football. They were one of them teams that was resilient. They had a lot of big lads who could score from a set play. But yes, I think mentally, sixth place does gain a slight edge over third. But when you're out on the field, you forget about everything. You've just got to perform.
All right, this is a tricky one, Mark. Momentum. How do you get momentum for a side like us? We sort of go 2 games where we'll win, then we'll draw against someone that we should beat, and then we'll lose, and then we might win 2 in a row again, and then we'll do the same again. How do you get that sort of consistency in a changing room? What's the secret?
By having characters, by having belief, confidence, faith in everything you do, and work hard on the training ground, because you train as you play. And that was my motto: train hard, work hard every day, and you'll take it out onto a pitch. Getting momentum is scoring goals and winning games, and having that resilience if you go a goal behind to bounce back. I think you need a lot of characteristics to sort of get back on track, because we had that when I was at the club. We had that incredible bounce back ability. We'd lose a game and we'd bounce straight back because we knew we were good players. I think confidence and belief play a massive part in that, and it's having good people around you as well, surrounding yourself with positive people. I mean, to this day, I try and surround myself with positive people, because if there's any negativity that creeps into my life, then I cut it straight out, because I approach my day in the negative mindset. Every day, just be positive in your pursuit to success. And I think if the lads sort of get to grips with that, then they can put a run together. I mean, that season we were in League One and we were sort of sat 19th, and we went on, I think it was a 20+ unbeaten. 20, I can't remember the exact numbers of it, but you can just win game after game, and putting back-to-back wins in the Championship is massive.
In the, I was just looking from a financial point of view. Obviously, when you come down, you get the big parachute payment, and then that becomes a smaller parachute payment. And these things have a massive effect on the club moving forwards in terms of their ability to survive financially. Are players aware of that, do you think? Or do players really just play for training and on the grass? Or do you always have one eye on what it means financially for a football club?
You know what? Me personally, I think I like to think about other people. With the club getting relegated this season, I'm not at the club, but I've got a lot of friends that have lost their jobs, whether it be masseuses, whether it be backroom staff, and I wanted to play for them. I think it's really important that you do think about other people and the finances for the football club, because on a personal level, the club means the world to me, and you never want to see them, struggle and get back to the way they was, obviously, when they were trying to get out of League Two and didn't have any money whatsoever to spend. So they've got themselves in a great position. But yeah, you just want to kick on for the football club, and I'm not sure how much the football club means to individuals at the moment, because I'm not them. I don't know how they think on a daily basis, but that's just how I feel. It means a lot to me. I'd want to work as hard as I could to try and get the club back where it deserves to be. I think it's really important that you do think on those guidelines, because every day you're training, you're playing for your families, for your friends, for the fans, and for yourself. You should want to put everything into the cause on a daily basis, whether it be financially, whether it be for success, whatever your goal is, whether it's money, whether it's getting a new car, whether it's be just performing well for your family, you should want to do it.
I think, Neil, it's interesting you say that, because I think players that they do have considerations of things above them, but one of the things that we always hear, Neil, is what managers say about not looking at the league table and from game to game. But you're a bit skeptical about that, aren't you?
Well, no, it's one of my things that always makes me laugh when managers come out and say, I don't look at league tables, I'm only interested in performances. And I just think that's bollocks. That's got bollocks. Mark, tell me, surely every manager and player that says I don't look at league tables is telling a fib, aren't they?
You've got to look at the league table. If you're top of the league, I reckon managers look every day. But I know Eddie rarely looked at the league table. He just focused on the next game, next game, and just keep winning games. It depends where you are in the table. If you're in the bottom three, then yeah, try and avoid it. Try and avoid the table, because you just want to focus on that next game and get 3 points on the board. But if I'm sat at the top of the table, I'm looking every day. I'm sat there with my little cupcake mug and looking at the table on a daily basis.
I bet Eddie used to tell you that, and then he used to go in the toilet at the training ground with a Daily Mirror and have a quick look at the league table.
Probably, but no. He was really focused on that. He was. It wouldn't surprise me if he didn't look at it. He was really structured in what he did.
But back in 2015, I mean, it wasn't just us. There were a few clubs vying for promotion. I mean, Norwich, Watford, Borough were up there as well. And I wonder. I mean, you can see it. You can see it in the games that are going on at the top of the league now. Swansea are winning every game 1-0 with 96-minute penalties, and Watford score a late winner yesterday. Every team seems to be edging wins or points. Does fear come into it as a team? And did you feel afraid going into any games in 2015, knowing that if you lost or didn't get a point, you'd struggle? I mean, how does it affect the players, what you're playing for?
It became a habit for us. We got that winning habit. We were going out into every game knowing we were going to win. Obviously, it's not a given. You've got to work hard for everything you have. But I think if you visualize, I'm a big believer in visualization. I was going into every game visualizing I was going to chop someone. I was going to, I was going to score goals, and my teammates did the same. We had complete belief and faith in each other's ability, and Sirs would just pass it to me, even if a man was up my Oh, I can't say that. On my bum. And you know, it's we had that real togetherness every week, and like you say, grinding 1-0 wins out is massive. We did it. Reading, I remember, away in the Championship towards the end of the season. You look at Brighton when Jan scored the late penalty, late free kick. It's not by luck; it's by just visualising the end result. And we were big on that. We knew what we had to expect of each other, and we'd run through brick walls for each other. But I think, go on, carry on, mate.
Yeah, quick follow up on that. Then, have we got a team psychiatrist?
Team psychiatrist
helping players visualise success.
Oh, psychologist.
Yeah.
Psychiatrist.
Sorry, psychiatrist.
Psychiatrists make you better, Jeff.
Yeah, maybe we need both. Have we got one? Have we got somebody helping players visualise success, or does it only work for 45 minutes?
You know what, we had a psychologist at the time, and he spoke really well, and he got you in the right frame of mind and stuff. But I think it's down to the individual. It's really important that you go into the games just and know you're going to win, and just work hard and be relentless, be passionate about what you do. And you can have as many people as you want telling you should do this, you should do that, but it's important you as an individual you crack down and work hard for the cause.
That side was incredible, because even I can remember games where we went 2-0 down, and it's the only Bournemouth side I've ever watched that when we were 2-0 down, I still thought we were going to win. And because normally as a fan, when you go 2-0 down, even when you got a good side, you think we might get a draw. But it was always totally relaxed with that side. I always knew that we would win. It was a strange thing.
I think we always went to the end, no matter what. I mean, whether you're 2-0 down and you end up losing 2-1, we'd always go to the end, shooting toward second half. We'd come out and we'd absolutely batter teams. We'd be on top for the 45 minutes, and we always created chances. So yeah, as a fan, it must have been really exciting to watch.
So obviously, if we make the playoffs, one home match, one away match, and then like neutral venue. Obviously, for Shrewsbury, you did it. For QPR, you played that one game where you won 3-1 away at Preston. What advantages and disadvantages are there of home matches and away matches? I mean, obviously, there's no fans, but what advantages can you get from a home game given there are no supporters?
Yeah, I think it's just the travel and not staying in hotels, and it does make you feel tired as a player when you're staying, a day and a half in the hotel. You've got all the traveling to do as well. It's just you've got to approach it in the right way. And when you're at home as well, you feel like, I don't know, you just feel in the right place, and you've got the fans on your side when they are in the ground. And I think when you're attacking towards the fans' end, especially second half, most clubs do that. They shoot towards the away fans first half, and then the home fans second half. I think you get that real buzz. Every tackle, every shot, every pass, you feel the fans are behind you. And that's maybe played a part this season, because the home form for Bournemouth of recent years has been incredible, and the fans have played a massive part in that.
So we've got the cup game distraction coming up, and I remember one of the big games in our championship season when we got promoted was that Liverpool game, because was it Liverpool? Yeah, it was Liverpool, wasn't it? We played in the cup. Even though we lost, it gave the players a lot of confidence, and that was part of the self-belief, I think. So do you think beating Southampton or putting in a really good performance will be helpful?
I think so. I think it'd be massive, especially with it being a derby and getting one over on the rivals. And they're playing really well, Southampton, at the moment as well. So it'd be a massive scalp for Bournemouth to take. And I can only see it giving them confidence. But you don't want to take your foot off the accelerator after that, because it's been proven in the past that you win a cup game and then you go back to league competition, especially in the Championship. It's really physical, and you don't want to shy under that. It'd be a big footsteps in the right direction, but the main focus is getting promotion back to the Premier League, and I think obviously you want to win the cup game, but putting a good run of results together now, from now until the end of the season, is pivotal.
The Premier League's a ruthless place, as you know, because you've played in it, and unless you've got money, you have to have a huge togetherness and spirit to have any chance of surviving. Which is why I think we survived in that first couple of seasons with Eddie up there before we started bringing in more expensive players and it started to look a little bit more comfortable. Do you think there's a wrong time to go up? Because I worry with this side now, if we went up, we haven't got that spirit and togetherness. And is it sometimes better to wait a year and to try and achieve that? Is there a wrong time to go up, is the question I guess I'm asking.
Nah, there's never a wrong time to go up. You want to get promotion every season as a footballer. You want to reach for the stars. You've got to be, like say, relentless. And I think every season you've got an opportunity. I think that's a big thing. If the club goes up, then yeah, it's going to be a transitional period. I'm not sure what the plans are after the season, because I know the current manager, Jonathan Woodgate's only in charge until the end of the season. But you can reassess from there. Once you're in the Premier League, it's a place to be, and then I'm sure the club will be chuffed to bits with that, and then they can reassess from there.
You're talking about needing momentum, and we obviously do need momentum. If you were Bournemouth manager right now and you were delivering a team talk, what sort of message would you be getting over to the players?
Yeah,
pull your finger out. No, I think it's you just want them to go out every week and express themselves. Just go out and express yourselves. Work hard. Run for a brick wall for your teammate. Pass the ball. Play attacking, free-flowing football. I mean, all the right messages that you need to give to players. And I think it's important as a manager. And Eddie Howe and JT and Perchy and all his coaching staff, they knew how to deal with individuals, whether to put an arm around you, whether to give you a rollicking, and they had that real good balance. And I think if you're not performing in the first half, they'd know how to get you out for the second half and give you a good what for. And it had a great effect on some players, whereas some certain players need the arms around them. But I think I'd just try and instill that belief and confidence back into the squad. And I'm not saying they haven't got that. Maybe results just ain't happening at the minute because, like I said, winning's a mentality. It's a habit, and they need to get that habit back.
So you're in charge of the food before the game on Tuesday against Swansea, Mark. What are you going to cook for the guys?
Oh, before Swansea, I'd get them a nice salmon fillet with a little glaze to it, and then some sweet potato and some veg. Get them healthy carbs in and healthy protein.
Nice.
Against Swansea, it should have some leeks, shouldn't it, in there somewhere? Yeah, nice caramelised leeks, I think.
We've got enough leaks going on in that defence now. We don't.
Yeah. I was about to say, Mark. Obviously, with the playoffs, the ultimate destination is Wembley. Whether it'll have fans or not, I don't know. Probably not. Have you played at Wembley?
Yeah, I've got splinters at Wembley before. I've been on the bench. I was on the bench against West Ham, I think, when they were playing at Wembley for a short stint. But yeah, that's my not great memories at Wembley. But no, I can imagine it being really weird without the fans. Big stadium like that. Yeah. The atmosphere, the echo, it'd be really difficult, but you just have to get yourself up for it. I mean, at times without fans, it feels like a training game. And that's where you've got to create your own atmosphere. And I think in a lot of games, Premier League, Championship, I think the players have struggled to do that this season. You look at Liverpool, their fans must have made a massive difference to them this season.
I almost feel sorry for people that have achieved things in all sports, not just in football, that have achieved things this year, because it can't mean as much. Can you imagine, Mark, if you got to a playoff final, say with Shrewsbury or with QPR last season, and scored the winner? It obviously you'd be dead proud, but it isn't going to mean the same as running towards 40,000 fans, is it?
Oh, not at all. No, I mean the fans make the game. The fans make it's a beautiful game with the fans, and without the fans, with VAR in the Premier League, it's an absolute nightmare. And I loved it when the Bolton night. I always go back to in front of the fans, and jumping in with a crowd, and just having an amazing night and celebrating afterwards. Yeah, I agree. It probably doesn't have that same shine it should do. It's obviously an amazing achievement, whether you get promotion, whether you score a goal, but yeah, just the celebrations after, just not the same.
That first goal against Bolton, I mean, it could have been all different. If we had drawn that match against Bolton and we'd lost against Charlton, we'd have been in the playoffs, and then we'd have had to go through that lottery. And at the moment, it seems for Bournemouth, that first goal is something that we can't buy, for love nor money, especially early on in the half. Now, I know that your goal came after about 30, 36, 37 minutes. I'm going to ask you a question and be completely honest, right? We asked Fletch this about how often did he watch his goal at the Millennium Stadium, and he said over 100. How many times have you watched your goal back?
Only that.
I'm surprised it wasn't four figures. But how many times have you watched that goal back against Bolton?
I could probably count on one hand. Genuinely.
Oh, really?
Seriously,
No.
I'm a very much a man of living the moment. I don't look back. I always look forward. I've seen it a few times. Don't get me wrong. And amazing nights. I sort of I visualize a lot, and I always think back to it and the emotions, the feelings, and absolutely loved it. But like I say, I'm not a man that lives in the past. I live in the present, and I want to, look to the future, and my future's bright in my eyes. And but it's just when I think back to it, and I'm lying in bed at night, and you still do get goosebumps, and it was an amazing night. And I don't feel like I need to watch it every day like Fletch does, because he's trying to. He's a legend. He's such a good guy, and it does not surprise me that he's watched it over 100 times. It does not surprise me.
That goal. It's weird because it wasn't the goal of yours I enjoyed the most, because I kind of thought we were always going to win that night, because we were definitely, it was nailed on a victory really. The goal I enjoyed the most, my son always says the same thing, was the winner at West Ham, because we weren't always going to win that game, and that was just it was vintage Marc Pugh to me, that goal. And it was just the feeling on a hot day with sort of 4,000 travelling fans was just brilliant. Do you remember that? You must remember that one really well.
That goal made it 3-2, didn't it?
Yeah, I've probably seen that more than the Bolton one, actually. I mean, I always say the Bolton one and the West Ham one are my two favourites, not just for the technique, not my best goals, but for the emotion, for the day. Like you say, I think, was it our fourth game of the season? We were struggling to get a win, and that was pivotal for our confidence and belief in the Premier League, because I think we battered Villa first day of the season, lost 1-0. Yeah. Couldn't hit a barn door. They just, had one chance, one goal. And then we got hammered the next game. Was it away to...
No, we only lost 1-0 at Liverpool. We played really well.
Yeah, we played well.
We were going to win. Yeah.
We scored and we should have... Yeah, that's right.
That was right. Better memory than me. The West Ham game was massive, and I started on the bench as well to come on and score my first Premier League goal. Amazing memories, and that will definitely live in the memory bank.
So that Bolton goal, you can't remember the commentary or anything. Can you remember how?
You remember that? I remember that. Oh, like I say, I remember it like it was yesterday, but I don't feel the need to watch it every day. I should be more of a sentimental person, really. But like I say, I just get on with my day and just try and live and laugh every day. But no, it is something I'm really, I've been blessed to be a part of such an amazing story with Bournemouth. And that was one of my favourite nights by far.
Yeah, well, me and Jeff, we've probably heard that commentary so many times because it forms the of our podcast. So, I can't even imagine. Just before I hand over to Jeff for his final question, you seem to be of the same work ethic as Eddie, Mark, and you're a person that's, you're saying that you're not looking back and you're looking forwards. Do you think, Eddie, surely at some point, do you think he's going to look back and actually kind of enjoy all those kind of moments? Because you sort of wonder whether he does, because he never seemed to have time to reminisce on the good times, and he's always thinking forward, and he's probably thinking of his next appointment now. Do you think that's the case?
I think he has to. I mean, he's got the time now to reflect. He's done absolute wonders for the football club. I mean, he's done everything in his power. He's worked tirelessly. He deserves his time off now, and he's got to reflect, because he's achieved so much, and the journey the club's been on from back in League Two all the way up. He was a part of that. He was a part of the success story. And even now, when I've got time to reflect, and I'm not playing at the moment, I'm just so grateful to be a part of it. And I always look back and how happy us as a squad, we made the fans every week. And usually you say, I didn't get on well with the fans. They were a bit, they battered me as a player, but I never had any of that. I've just had such an amazing relationship with everyone. And myself, Eddie, his coaching staff, the players who were involved in that amazing journey, we should look back and be proud of it.
So last question then, Mark, what's the message for fans? What's the message for players before Tuesday night? You got one sentence, go on, give it to them.
Pull your finger out. I think work hard. Just work hard, believe, be confident, and let's get back to where we were at the start of the season, because I watched probably the first 4 or 5 games of the season religiously, and I was enjoying it. I was really enjoying it. They were on fire. They looked like scoring every time they were going to attack. Just get back to that. It's really get back to doing what you know. I know it's longer than a sentence. Get back to doing what you know you can do well, and collectively, individually, let's get a win for ourselves, for our families, for the club, and for the fans.
Yeah, Neil, you seem to have a very nice kitchen there, and there is room for a book just to the left of the toaster there. And Mark,
I mean, I've got Ottolenghi, but what I'm missing is Marc Pugh, I think. If he pull his finger out and write one.
No, to be fair, I'm currently working on a book proposal, and I'm really keen on it. It's just obviously getting an editor to take to it. I believe it'll be amazing. I want to help inspire everyone, not only professional athletes, but for people who like to go to the gym, keep healthy. And like I say, it's really important part of my life. I'm big on my nutrition, fitness, and diet side of things. I don't like to call it a diet because it's a healthy lifestyle in my eyes, because everything in moderation is really important. So I'd love to get that out when I can. Fingers crossed someone takes to it. Someone must do, because it's such an unusual angle. No, I don't think any professional footballer has written a book before, and certainly following all Foodie Footballer on Instagram, you are cooking some really sort of unusual and decent stuff. There's got to be someone out there, surely, who'll do work with that on you. No, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, it's like I say, you want healthy to be healthy but fun at the same time. You don't want it to be boring. You don't want to eat like a rabbit. I mean, come on, who wants to eat a bit of carrot and lettuce? Having a balance is really important. Knowing what to put in your body. I've learned a lot over the years. When I was young, I felt like I ate decent. But up until the age of 26, 27, when I did this diet and nutrition course, I tried doing it when we got promoted to the championship to gain that edge. The small percentages really matter, and it took my game to the next level. And I really did learn a lot. Because in my younger days, I was getting to the 65th, 70th minute, and I was tiring a little bit. I felt, lethargic, and I always thought back, what is it? There's something more to it. And since I cut all the rubbish out of my diet, refined carbs, refined sugars, processed foods, I didn't have a lot of it, but I'd maybe have a little takeaway on a Saturday after a game just to celebrate. And it was detrimental towards my recovery. Come Tuesday, I'd feel it. And once I cut all that out, felt a new man. I feel like I'm 22 now.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can pass on my knowledge of what I've learned over the years to other people and inspire them to become the best version of themselves.
Brilliant. Well, it's Mother's Day, of course, today. And did you treat your family and wife to some nice food? I saw some nice caramel flapjacks on your Instagram recently or something. They looked absolutely gorgeous. What was on the menu today? Yeah,
caramel slices. To be fair, to be honest, they're too Moorish, though. Too Moorish. Yeah, the missus loves a roast, so we're having a little roast on a Sunday today, and we'll go for a nice walk as a family. Beautiful day in Bournemouth today, so we'll get out. I'm not sure. She's a bit of a sweet tooth, so she'll probably try and encourage me to cook a naughty dessert or something.
Yeah. Enjoy.
Well, Mark, really appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences. We do truly appreciate it.
No, pleasure, mate. Thanks for having me on. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Good, Mark. Good to see you.
Yeah, and cheers, Jeff. Cheers, Neil. All eyes on Tuesday now. Can I have some very, very quick predictions, Jeff?
Oh, coming to me first.
Yeah.
1-0 to us. I think it's going to be a replay of the Watford game after the Cardiff game.
Hey, Neil?
Well, I'm making a shepherd's pie today. I thought you were going to ask about that. So with lamb as well, a proper shepherd's pie. The Swansea, I can't see us winning it. So I think Swansea are quite a slick side, well organised. I think we'll draw.
Well, there we go. So thank you for watching tonight's video. We truly appreciate it. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and you can get the latest videos from Back of the Net. This week promises to be an absolute humdinger for us. It's going to culminate in an FA Cup watch-along on Saturday for the Saints game. Plus, this time next week, we've got another interview with a footballing legend on the channels. Make sure you subscribe. We cannot wait. Until then, up the cherries, and we'll see you in the next video.